It's episode 25, people. The Super Bowl has just ended, and that means the end of the NFL season. College football will have to wait until August, and football will just have to wait and see what the NFL draft has in store for us. Today we'll go over the Super Bowl, have a little look back at the season as a whole, what we can expect next year in the 2019-2020 season, and just a little preview about what we will have on our show for the weeks to come and the months to come as well, so that we don't bore you with MLB, NHL, and in-depth analysis on those games. That's all coming your way next on the Josh Kirby on Sports podcast.
Indeed, I'm glad you connected. This is Dave Johnson, voice of the Washington Wizards. You have connected to the right place because you are listening to my man, Josh Kirby on Sports Podcast.
Wow. Can you believe we're 25 episodes into this? This is just amazing. Once again, you're listening to Josh Kirby on Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Josh Kirby. My co-host alongside me, CJ Mint here. Before we get in... Hey, CJ. Yeah, before we get into it, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Rat 11 Chips. Make sure you check them out in stores, Martin's Food Lion and Giant, and check out their new salt and pepper chips. And by Free Forever Jam Studio, premiumbeat.com. And yes. And before we begin, big news, we're on Spotify. I'm surprised I was able to do it, but I found a way, and the Josh Kirby on Sports podcast, as of right now, is on Spotify. So you can just search us on Spotify, the Josh Kirby on Sports podcast. No caps, no spaces. So anyways, let's get right into it. As you know, the Super Bowl 53 has just ended. It is a very depressing week for us football fans because there is no more football. And I'm sure, CJ, you're the same way. The NFL season is over, and there's no more football to be played until next year.
Yeah, I mean, we have training camp or preseason to look forward to. But
preseason.
No one cares about that, so.
Yeah, but let's dive right into it, CJ. The Patriots and the Rams. Some people say it was a terrible game.
It depends on how you look at this game.
I mean, I'm not one of them who...
I'm not one of those people either.
It was a defensive game.
This is the best holiday of the year.
I mean, the 13-3, the Patriots beat the Rams. And let me just say, that was one of the lowest scoring games in Super Bowl history.
Oh, it was the lowest scoring game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. And just so you know, Nick Foles has the last touchdown in a Super Bowl, just so you know. So
yes. Last passing touchdown.
Passing touchdown. But it was more of a defensive battle the whole game. And it was just one of those games where you were like, yeah, something is going to have to click at the end. And it did for the Patriots.
Well, you have to, like I said, look at this game from a standpoint of defense, because last year's Super Bowl, that was a fun Super Bowl to watch, but there was no defense in that game. This year, there was defense. What have I been saying? What have we always been saying, Josh?
Defense wins championships.
Defense wins championships. And even my dad, who sat here right next to me, said, well, you got to put points on the board to be able to score. Be able to win the game. Well, the Patriots only had to put 13 points on the board to beat a team. This is unbelievable. I don't think people are realizing what Bill Belichick did to this team. I am giving credit to Brian Flores. I am. Their defensive coordinator, who is now in Miami. They're the head coach of Miami now. But Bill Belichick, he out-coached Sean McVay in this game. It was clear as day from the beginning, because this is a team the New England Patriots that finished 11-5. And lots of people said, like, this is a terrible New England Patriots team. Well, in back-to-back games, they beat the top 2 scoring offenses, total offenses, whatever you want to say, in back-to-back games. The Kansas City Chiefs, who had the MVP, by the way. Pat Mahomes gets the MVP vote.
You were spot on those ESPYs. No, not ESPYs, NFL honors. Why did I say ESPYs?
Because you're stupid.
Yeah.
No. And then number 2 is Jared Goff in the LA Rams. And we already saw the Chiefs versus Rams game, how there is no defense on both of those teams. Sure, there were defensive touchdowns in that game, but Bill Belichick was a mastermind in this game. The way that he was able to contain this offense by seeing how just predictable the Rams were. Every single first down, run. Every single first down was a run for the Rams. And they did not gain a lick on the running game. This was a terrible game from both teams. I will say that offensively. The QBRs for both quarterbacks was 25 and 18. Those were the QBRs for both quarterbacks. So, yes, it wasn't a pretty game, offensively speaking. But I'm still spot on this stat. When Dante Hightower is on the field, the Patriots win the Super Bowl. Because he did not play in last year's Super Bowl. He did not. He was in there in 2014. He was in there in 2016. And now he's in here in this game. He made 2 huge sacks that allowed the offense to get the ball back. Personally, I feel like Johnny Hecker's the MVP in this game as the punter for the Rams.
Longest punt in Super Bowl history by a yard.
9 punts, 416 yards for the Rams punter, Johnny Hecker.
Who's a better punter, though, Johnny Hecker or Tress Way?
Well, who made it to the Super Bowl?
No, but Tress Way. He had like 41 inside the 20 and 0
Yes, but he
touchbacks.
actually finished just above Johnny Hecker in net average by 0.2%. So he's not that much better than Johnny
But
Hecker.
I'm just saying that you can compare the two.
Okay, listen. If he's your MVP, Josh, I don't know what to tell you. If he is the MVP of the team, I don't know what to tell you. But still, let's get back to the Super Bowl.
Okay, now before you continue, I have the tweet pulled up right here from CBS Sports HQ on Twitter. The Patriots won the Super Bowl despite an interception on Tom Brady's first pass attempt, 0 pass touchdowns from Tom Brady, only 9 total yards by James White, 1 total touchdown, 0 points scored in the first quarter, 3 points scored in the first 3 quarters, and 13 points scored total. That's crazy.
Well, like I said,
It was a defensive battle, but yeah, it's just a crazy stat I wanted to throw out
exactly. But I keep going back to this defense wins championship stat. Here's another stat for you. The Patriots finished 7th in the NFL in scoring defense this season. This marks the 46th time in the 53 Super Bowls that a team that finished in the top 10 in scoring defense has captured the Lombardi Trophy. 46 out of 53 games. If you have one of the top 10 scoring defenses, you are almost guaranteed to win the game. It doesn't matter how prolific your offense is. And once again, what did we say this whole season? Offenses are adapting. Offenses are becoming so powerful that defenses are going to have to work harder. Well, when you have a guy like Bill Belichick and Brian Flores who are able to dissect you and work harder than anyone in the NFL, because all they have to focus on is Sean McVay and how do we stop this guy's offense? Because Bill Belichick has done this for a while now. I'm going to pull up a stat here for you, Josh. This is what the LA Rams averaged in terms of points scored on offense. They averaged 33 points a game. They held them to 3 points this game. That means that that means that 30 points were not on the board for them. with their average. And here's another stat for you. This is back in 1990 when Bill Belichick was the defensive coordinator of the Giants, and they played the Buffalo Bills in the Super Bowl. And this is a Buffalo Bills team that went to 4 straight Super Bowls, had a prolific offense for many years with Jim Kelly. At the time, they were the number 6 offense. They averaged 26.8 points per game. They scored a total of 428 points, averaged 330 yards a game. Bill Belichick held them to 19 points, and they missed the field goal at the end of the game to lose it. Bill Belichick, people got to stop it with this. They really got to stop it because he is the greatest coach ever.
Amen, brother.
He is the greatest coach ever. People still have this thing for Bill Walsh and how he created an offense. Well, guess what happened? He stopped an even more prolific offense multiple times now. He was able to dissect the Rams in their predictable offense. Sean McVay, I hope this really opens eyes for teams to say, because remember we were talking about how in this season how Sean McVay, coaches underneath of him are going to go very far, right? Coaches underneath this guy, they're gonna get jobs because he's such a good coach and how he's able to turn his offense around. Well, experience beats that. Bill Belichick is a mastermind. Now people will say okay, then it's always been Bill Belichick. It's never been Tom Brady. No, that's not the case. That's not the case because I relate back to Super Bowl 51 when they were down by 25 points in the game. Bill Belichick was not a mastermind in that game whatsoever because that's on Tom Brady to lead a 25-point comeback and win it in overtime.
Regardless of what anybody says, the Brady-Belichick era will be one of the best of all time.
Oh, it's the best ever.
No, it's more than the best, actually.
We'll never, I don't know if I'll ever see this, but just think of this stat. 6-3 sounds a lot better than 5-4 in a Super Bowl. Bill Belichick has 8 Super Bowl rings now. He has 6 as a head coach and 2 as a defensive coordinator with the Giants. And he's been to 12 Super Bowl appearances. The guy has been to the biggest stage multiple times. Nothing phases that man because he just sees it as another game. And then finally, I want to say this, to throw this out the window about how it's always been Belichick, it's never been Brady. Well, the one year that Brady was injured, the Patriots did not make the playoffs. Just to throw that out there. When Tom Brady tore his ACL in 2008, they didn't make the playoffs. So there's your stat for that about how it's always been Brady and Belichick. They complement each other very well. And in this Super Bowl, I think it was a good Super Bowl. Yeah, I'm not going to say it was a great Super Bowl.
No, but it was good because of the defense. And, it kept you on the edge of your seat.
I think a lot of credit is not given to the offensive line of New England.
Yeah.
Because all I saw on First Take, Undisputed, all these talk shows that
Tom Brady only 1 sack.
He
got sacked once.
Yeah, and that was in the first quarter.
Yeah.
That was it. But I'm saying in the running game. I'm saying the explosiveness of Ndamukong Suh, the explosiveness of Aaron Donald, they were not a factor in this game whatsoever. The offensive line deserves so much credit. And then finally, the MVP vote I'm a little upset about because Julian Edelman, to me, I feel did not deserve that MVP vote.
No, I disagree 110%.
With what?
Julian Edelman, one-on-one, he could not be stopped all day. Down the middle, down the flat, Tom Brady was throwing to Edelman all day, and he was making catches. And I'm not sure why you don't think that doesn't deserve an MVP vote, but all night, I saw it all night. Edelman would be making catches all day. One-on-one, you can't guard Julian Edelman, and I think he deserved that MVP.
Okay, and I'm going to counter that by saying that There was another play on the offense who I thought deserved it, and it was Sony Michel, because he was the only one to score the dang touchdown in the game. 18 carries, 71 yards in the game. But then also, why is nobody on the defense getting even a vote for the MVP? There was a tweet out here that nobody on the Patriots defense got any votes for the MVP.
That's an easy answer because everybody looks at offense and they don't really care about defense.
And that is a stupid answer.
Yes.
Not from you. I'm saying from people out there
Yes.
who...
I mean, defense needs to be considered as much
Without
as...
Jason McCourty, the Patriots don't win the Super Bowl. Jason McCourty makes the biggest play of the game.
Yeah.
He's the backside corner. The safety drops down to follow the under route. Jason McCourty, Brandon Cooks is wide open in the end zone, and Jason McCourty literally has to hoof it and makes the biggest play of the game by swatting the ball out the air. That's the biggest play of the game. You don't win the Super Bowl without that. Why doesn't he get at least even just one vote? Or Dante Hightower or Kyle Van Noy or the defensive line? Like, why is nobody on the defense? You held the Rams to 3 points.
Because they don't understand that defense is a key factor in winning a game, and they're just looking at all the
in this game,
big
it
stars.
was the factor. I'm saying
but they're still not looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
And, like they're just looking at the stars, like, you know, big names like Tom Brady, Julian Edelman, Rob Gronkowski.
Yes. Who, by the way, we may have seen him in his last game as a Patriot. And that's really sad to see because...
Is there news on that yet or not?
No, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened because he had been talking about it. It was a very...
He still looks pretty young, but
yes,
you know, all the injuries he's had.
His health is a factor. I mean, look, he's going to make money no matter what he does. He could be in television. He could be a WWE star. He could be anything. But it's going to be sad to see him go because, in my personal opinion, I think he is the greatest tight end to ever play the game. I say tight end because he is a tight end. Tony Gonzalez is not a tight end. He's a receiver in a tight end's body. He's as tall as Gronkowski. The difference between Gronkowski and Tony Gonzalez, Gronkowski can lay the wood on somebody on the offensive line.
Uh-huh.
He can block. And also, Gronkowski, his separation and his quickness as a tight end, I don't think I've ever seen that. I really don't. So it's going to be hard to see him go, and maybe even Devin McCourty, because Devin McCourty had been talking about how this may have been his last game as well. He basically said, like, look, I may never get to experience this with my brother again, and if we do win it, I might think about calling it a quits because I would have done everything. I would have won a championship with my brother on the same team, who in fact, him, Jason McCourty, and Danny Shelton are the first two players in NFL history to go from an 0-16 team, that being the Browns in 2017, to winning a Super Bowl championship the following year. That's a heck of a stat right there.
Yeah, and I do love the fact that the McCourty twins won a Super Bowl together. Like, what's better than that? It's amazing. Like, just sharing it with a family member of yours, that being his brother.
It doesn't happen often.
Yeah, which makes the moment special. But going back to my MVP thing, yes, they really don't give credit on the defensive side of the football because, as I said earlier, they're looking at the stars.
It hasn't happened. I mean, Von Miller won the MVP, of course, rightly, when he was against Carolina, of course. And he was the difference maker in that game. He was. To me, Julian Edelman, yeah, he was making catches down the field, but they only scored 13 points. He wasn't the defining factor to me. When they got down the field, he would be called on once again. The defining play on the offensive side of the ball was the seam pass to Rob Gronkowski, a beautiful throw into triple coverage. That was the only defining play that I saw on the offensive side of the ball. other than that, the defense, I was just amazed at watching them run to the ball, swarm to the ball. Todd Gurley just not being a factor. Brandon Cooks, Robert Woods, Jared Goff being sacked 4 times. Like, to see that the defense did not even get a consideration is really disappointing and is very disheartening to see that.
Well, I told you all last week, if C.J. Anderson and Todd Gurley didn't get the ball a lot, they weren't going to win.
Well, that is true. But to be fair, every time they got the ball, they were stuffed. And the one time that C.J. Anderson looked like he was going to break a big one, he fumbles the ball. So every single opportunity, they were just stuffed on all phases of the game. Yeah. They had no answer. Jared Goff was a flop. And I blame this more on Jared Goff than I do Sean McVay, because Jared Goff looked like he was not prepared for this type of game. And I also blame it on Sean McVay by not telling his quarterback, like, look, Bill Belichick is going to get after you. He's going to find the weaknesses of you. I feel like that's enough on this Super Bowl, though, because how does
really enough? Just a little bit. It's the biggest game of the year.
Then what else do you have?
Well,
I feel like I've been talking for hours.
Yeah, I know. But how about that halftime show? What were your thoughts on that?
What are you talking about? I didn't watch the halftime show.
Are you crazy?
I watched the commercial. The NFL 100, which
was the best commercial. Hilarious.
I watched that, but I didn't watch the halftime show.
Roger Goodell up there on the stage.
I was playing Cards Against Humanity. I wasn't watching that music show.
Whatever. But, man, a fumble during Roger Goodell's speech, and I don't know. I saw part of it, and Marshawn Lynch was eating cake, I think, with his 2 bare hands, and somebody called out fumble, and then
there was Mike Singletary.
Yeah, and it was an all-out dog pile.
Yeah,
that was funny. Any other commercials you saw? I saw a little bit, but
yeah, the Game of Thrones one, of course.
I'm a
definitely
huge
Game of Thrones fan, so I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, but the halftime show, it was not that good, but it wasn't bad either.
That's why I didn't watch it.
Yeah, but who was it? Travis Scott. He had the SpongeBob intro before he started playing, like SpongeBob at the stadium.
I know,
but everybody hated that because they didn't actually.
They didn't play the song. They didn't do the actual performance, which is one of the greatest episodes in SpongeBob history. So, but no, I didn't watch the halftime show because I don't care about that. I care about football. It's not about the halftime show. To me, feels like more like. Yeah, it's a big honor to be at the Super Bowl, but the spotlight ain't on you. No. It ain't about you. It's about the best 2 teams in the NFL. And that's why I don't watch the halftime show unless it's Bruno Mars, who had a heck of a show a couple years ago. That was a good one.
Yeah.
Some of the more memorable ones was Black Eyed Peas. That was absolutely awful and ruined the Packers vs. Steelers Super Bowl. I want to say Katy Perry and Left Shark. Of course, that one was hilarious. So there's some memorable ones in there. But no, I don't watch the halftime show, mainly because I know it takes forever, and I want to get back to watching football.
Yeah, I just sort of watched it because, I mean, it's just something fun to do. And, like, we're just sitting there with snacks just watching everything. And, you know, it's just an experience you want to take in every year for the Super Bowl. And, I mean, it wasn't one of the best experiences because of the score, but it was still pretty fun. It seems like this year it came up so fast for some reason.
To go off of that, though, what do you think about Trey Wingo's outburst that you saw?
Well, I saw a little bit of it, and, wow, he must have been fuming hot because of other people's opinions.
Well, I mean, yeah, I do agree that, you know, you're allowed to have your own opinion.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
But I feel this is one of the things that I don't like about social media.
He sounded like a baby a little bit.
He did, of course. But everybody's human. Everybody does that. And when you're that passionate about the Super Bowl, where you only get to experience it once a year, I understand where he's coming from, where people will literally take to social media and just tweet 280 characters about OMG, OMG, emoji, emoji, emoji. This Super Bowl so boring, 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 boring. I'm going to go do something else. And then just tweet about it the entire game. I understand where he's coming from.
Yeah.
Because you only get to see this game once a year.
Yeah, but I mean, it just depends on who you are if you like the game or not like the game. You know, it's just personal preference.
That is true. That is true because, like I said, I like this game. I liked watching it.
I like watching every Super Bowl. I liked watching the 43-8 blowout when the Seahawks beat the Broncos because it was the last football game of the season, and I wanted to take it all in.
Yeah. The only people who didn't like watching it were Broncos fans. Those were the only people.
Yeah, but man, did you watch the end of the game?
What do you mean?
Did you watch?
Yes, I watched Tom Brady kiss Robert Kraft. Let it go.
That's not what I was gonna say. But
okay.
Was that real or not?
Yes, it was real, and who cares?
Oh my God. I mean,
you're gonna really rat on that,
no,
look at his wife. That's all I gotta say.
I'm just sort of speechless about
say.
that. But they caught that on camera. But after the game, the real question, like in a regular season game, this doesn't happen. The players just high-five. There are a few photographers. But Tom Brady gets swarmed. Like, there's Tom Brady, and I have not seen this in a Super Bowl before. And photographers all the way around. CBS made the terrible mistake of putting in a 5'3" Tracy Wolfson to interview Tom Brady right after the game. Like, she probably ran up there and somebody took her microphone or something, but they're all squeezed in together and there's a circle of photographers never ending. Only on Tom Brady. And wow, it took like 10 minutes before she got to interview Tom Brady and she was screaming at the top of her lungs and I was like, where's the security here? That was crazy, but you don't see that any other time, but the media is outrageous. And luckily, nobody stole Tom Brady's jersey this year either and took it down to Mexico, so that's good. So, yeah. And another thing, CJ, I'm sure you would like to chime in on this. Tony Romo's first Super Bowl appearance.
Yeah, he was a good broadcaster.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys must have been proud that he finally made it to the Super Bowl, but you know he does pretty good doing the Super Bowl, and he's such a great broadcaster in my opinion. So hopefully he will be with CBS for years to come.
Yep.
And what else was I gonna say here? Pregame show. You watch any of it or?
Nope.
Oh man.
I don't watch that stuff.
Well, I mean, it was sort of short this year, but it was pretty fun. They had a lot of stories, a lot of interviews and stuff.
I don't watch that stuff because it's people who don't know what they're talking about with the game. Really? I watch a lot of those analysts. I see the stuff every single week about how they want to make their picks and make their justifications for it. And then it's the same mumbo-jumbo for 6 hours that you'll see until the Super Bowl comes on. And if you're a fan of which team, you're either going to turn the TV off because you're mad, or you're going to say like, "Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's exactly what we are." Yeah. So I find it to be just very ridiculous, but it gets ratings, so they're going to keep doing it.
Yep, and then Brady hoists his trophy again, and wow. And,
wow, you sound so happy about that, Josh.
Well, I mean, Brady hoists it again.
Yeah, 6 times now.
Yeah, 6 times, tied with your Steelers.
Welcome to the 6 Rings Club.
Yeah, but I'm losing my train of thought tonight. Like,
yeah, let's move on to how this compares to another Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, Broadway Joe. He took the Lombardi Trophy down. I saw an interview with him pregame. Man, that guy still is funny. But moving right along here, the New England Patriots cap off the NFL season by beating the Los Angeles Rams 13-3 in Super Bowl 53. Next topic on the list, CJ.
Oh, you want me to say it again?
Yeah.
Well, how is this compared to other Super Bowls? Well, like I said, it depends on how you look at this Super Bowl. Personally, I thought it was a good Super Bowl because it showed defensive battle. Those Rams boys, I feel so bad for them. I really do. Like, they did everything possible to get their team the ball back constantly, and they just did not put it on the board. They just did not. So I look at it from that perspective, and I say, how does this compare to last year's Super Bowl? Personally, I liked last year's Super Bowl because the Philadelphia Eagles were a way more fun team to watch than the LA Rams.
Yeah,
they were.
It was back and forth. But in compared to this game, it was just a defensive battle up until the end.
Yes, but I'm talking about how, like, Doug Peterson was the one who basically challenged Bill Belichick and said, I'm coming right at you. I'm not changing up my game plan. I'm not changing up anything that we have done this season, and I'm coming right at you. And I didn't get that from Sean McVay. I saw a scared coach. I saw a coach who literally did not have any guts. I saw a coach who literally was like, I'm scared now because my offense isn't doing anything, and I'm not changing up anything. I'm making it so predictable for him. Whereas in Doug Peterson, I'm going to run Philly on you.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to suffer. And then also on that, Nick Foles. I don't know if this really says much because I don't know if my opinion matters that much, but Nick Foles is a good quarterback. And if he's able to beat Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots, that says a lot. That really does.
Mm-hmm.
But this Super Bowl, I don't think it's top 5 for me. I really don't.
No.
Personally,
I wouldn't rate it up there, but it was
I would put it in the middle of the pack, honestly.
Yeah.
I would, because there were some exciting Super Bowls up there that we've seen in the past couple of years. The Eagles one, I would have to put that at like number 7, personally. Now, we're not talking about that, but in terms of what this Super Bowl was for me, I've seen some good Patriots Super Bowls. Like back and forth and exciting all the way through. And this wasn't it. This kind of reminded me of the first Tom Brady Super Bowl where they didn't have a great performance, but it was against the greatest show on turf back in 2001. And they won on a last-second field goal, of course. It kind of reminds me of that game. But I would have to put it in like the middle of the pack. Like, I'd say like 15 on my list for Super Bowls.
Yeah, middle of the pack, too. There wasn't really anything that exciting. It was just a Super Bowl, but as I said before, they're always fun to watch. So, Yep. So, that I still can't believe it's over.
Yeah, the season is done, but this season was so much fun to watch because we saw let's take a look back at this NFL season.
Hey, how about we just look back, recap the whole 2019 season, our thoughts and stuff. Like
not every single week.
No. Like just memories, what we liked, what we didn't like.
Okay, well, the first one I want to say is Pat Mahomes then.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Pat Mahomes showed what he was made of after Alex Smith got traded to Washington, and he showed that he can be a leader of the Kansas City Chiefs in years to come.
Yeah.
He's still growing, but in the years to come, the Chiefs I can see going far.
Absolutely, because I remember Mike Golick and Trey Wingo, they said like, oh, Pat Mahomes, he's going to struggle. He's not going to be that good of a quarterback. Well, there's only been 3 quarterbacks in NFL history that have thrown 50 touchdown passes. One is Tom Brady, one is Peyton Manning, and the other one is now Patrick Mahomes. So that says a lot. Number 2 is the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns this year, I hope, make a statement next year because they were a fun team to watch. That's saying something. From the past, I would say 5 years, the Browns have been a laughing stock and a team where you go, I just feel bad for the Browns. They don't look like a good team at all. But this year, they were a dangerous team at times. With Baker Mayfield and Nick Chubb, that offense looked great.
Yeah, Cleveland also, because I watched, I don't know if you did, but I watched Hard Knocks. I got HBO.
I did too.
Yeah, I mean, looking through Hard Knocks, that was amazing just to watch the Cleveland Browns and what happened after that. Like, if Hard Knocks was through the whole season, that would have been I would have been hooked. But
And they went through controversy as well. They fired their offensive coordinator and head coach halfway through the season.
yeah, and then they got rid of
And then they got better. They got better.
yeah, and they got rid of Greg Williams too,
Yes.
their interim head coach, and hired in-house Freddie Kitchens. So, I mean, the Cleveland, I think they're going to win a couple games next season, but I'm not sure how well they're going to do. I just can't tell how well they're going to do. I wouldn't be surprised if they won 5, 6, 7 games, but
Yeah.
I just don't know.
Yeah, it's way too early to tell. Another team that I want to talk about is my Pittsburgh Steelers. Le'Veon Bell sits out the entire NFL season, wants to get his money, and he doesn't get it, so he sits out the entire NFL season.
So does that mean he will not be a Pittsburgh Steeler next year, or what?
Well, do you want my opinion, or do you want, like...
No, your opinion. Is he
I don't
coming?
want him.
No, do you think
No.
he's
No.
not? Okay.
No. He'll go to the New York Jets, the Indianapolis Colts, a team that will give him plenty of money and has a lot of cap space and that can give him those $14 million years, figures like that.
Yeah.
So, but also we were introduced to James Conner, who has become my favorite player in the NFL because of his story, his background, what he's done, coming back from cancer, and being a stud in the NFL. And then, of course, the Steelers, they had a lackluster season, and now the drama with Antonio Brown and a tweet that just came out today that he was involved in a domestic dispute just last month. So the drama continues, but we'll have to see what the Steelers can do next year.
Yeah, and another team, the New York Giants. I think with Pat Shurmur, Saquon Barkley, I believe Eli will be staying one more year, but I think that the Giants can get 6 or 7 wins next season, and I think they'll.
Trace McSorley might go into the draft.
Ooh.
I'm just saying.
From Virginia,
He knows how to work with Saquon. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but
That's all I'm saying.
no, I know, but I think the Giants are going to be a team you're going to have to watch out for next year.
Another team is the Chicago Bears, making probably the biggest acquisition of the year in Khalil Mack. 7 years, $141 million. And what we saw in week 1 against the Packers, sure, they didn't win, but he was worth every penny. And he changed the dynamic of the Chicago Bears, who I said many, many times on this show had won 8 games in a total of 2 seasons. 8 games.
I will tell you, I think the Bears will be going far next year.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
Matt
no
Nagy
doubt.
has changed it. He won Coach of the Year.
Yes, Matt Nagy deserved Coach of the Year. He deserved it. There was no other name. Matt Nagy deserved it, and he's going to do great things next season.
Yes. The Chicago Bears, and also they won their first division title in 8 years. It was held by the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers for many years, so it was good to see the Chicago Bears finally back at it. And then let's talk about the Los Angeles Rams. This is a team that was exited in the first round the previous season, and wow, they came out firing. And they played in probably the greatest Monday night game we'll ever see against the Chiefs. 54-51 game. Great game. Made it all the way to the Super Bowl. Lost to the New England Patriots.
Yeah, so my thing on the Rams, Sean McVay's a great coach. I mean, he's humble, and after losing the Super Bowl, he just, with all class, just admitted he lost and he got out-coached. He wasn't, like, making excuses or anything, and he just said it all. And Sean McVay, I mean, his second year after becoming the Redskins' offensive coordinator, he goes to L.A., and I think there's just going to be more room for improvement, and Sean McVay will get better and better as the years go on, and I think the Rams will be another team who step up and get a couple more wins and hopefully win a Super Bowl in years to come. Like, I'm not saying maybe next year, but in the years to come, I'll expect them back in the Super Bowl.
So, and then another team is the New Orleans Saints, and
they'll be back. They'll be back.
I hope
They
to God
they
that they
want
will be
their
back.
revenge.
I hope that
They
they'll be
want
back
their revenge.
because who knows who will play, if they'll play the Rams next year, and if that'll be a very heartwarming game for them. But the New Orleans Saints, Drew Brees breaks the NFL passing yards record on a beautiful night against the Redskins. They make it all the way to the championship game to lose on a heartbreaking game in the most controversial call in NFL history that we'll ever see. The most controversial call. And I want to add another point to that is that personally I would have rather seen Drew Brees in that Super Bowl. I absolutely would have rather seen
It
the
would have
Saints.
been. I think it would have been a
Absolutely.
better game if Drew
Absolutely.
Brees was in it.
Yes.
But that would have been crazy to see the
Exactly.
Saints and the Patriots.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why I would have rather seen that game. And then finally, let's talk about the New England Patriots.
No, they'll be back. They'll be back.
Well, I just want to
There's
talk
no
about
doubt
how
they'll be back.
in 18 years they have won 9 Super Bowls now. They finished 11
That's
and 5.
half. That's half of 18.
Good math. Well, the Patriots, after I went to the Pittsburgh Steelers game against the New England Patriots, I just remember talking with my dad and saying, the Patriots just don't look like the same old Patriots. They just don't. They look like the Steelers. They look like a team that makes mistakes and basically gives so many opportunities away for teams to win. Well, I'm glad that that was just in the regular season because what we saw in the postseason was completely different. And they proved themselves, and now they won their 6th Super Bowl in 18 years. So it's fascinating to see them do this. And Tom Brady, like he said, he may play for another 4 years. So we'll have to see. But that's the NFL season look back.
Hey,
and it's
I didn't even talk about my Washington Redskins, saving the worst for last. No, but Washington started the preseason off losing Darius Geis from LSU, so that was a big shocker. The Redskins go 6-3. The NFC East just looked shaky from the beginning, but Redskins ended up, the injury bug hit them hard like they do every year. We lost Alex Smith for the year, and he's doubtful to play in 2019. Picked up we had Colt McCoy. He got injured. His not as bad leg injury. Then Mark Sanchez, he gets benched, and we're left with Josh Johnson. So the quarterback situation in Washington is something I'm not looking forward to because our cap space with Alex Smith, I'm just not sure what they're going to do in the draft. Will they draft a quarterback? Will they keep Josh Johnson? Will they go free agency? I don't know. But something to look forward to is to see Darius Geis on the field. I mean, I don't know. He played great at LSU with a year off with the ACL. I'm not sure if he'll be the same, but I hope he will be the same guy that I've been watching highlights from him at LSU. And with Darius Geis, Adrian Peterson, if he comes back next year, and Chris Thompson in the backfield, that might make a good running game. But, you know, it's the Washington Redskins, so anything can happen. And
way to stay optimistic.
yeah, defensive-wise, I don't see HaHa Clint Dix coming back. He was only on a one-year deal after getting traded from Green Bay to Washington. And Williams, Kerrigan, I think they're going to have to stay healthy. I mean, it's just going to be a matter of how healthy the Redskins stay next season. So, yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing what they do in the draft and seeing what they will accomplish if they pick up a quarterback or not. But I don't know. It's tough to say with the Redskins, but I think it's going to be a long journey ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what can we expect from the 2019-2020 sports season on the Josh Kirby on Sports podcast?
So, me and Josh have been talking about this for a while because football is our bread and butter. It's what we love to talk about, of course. But we want to ensure our viewers that, look, we're not going away for a hiatus or anything like that, but that we want to continue to bring you great content every single week with our thoughts and opinions on it.
Yeah.
But we're going to be changing it up, though, because we know that you guys don't want to hear us go in depth on NBA games, NHL.
Oh yeah,
MLB.
we'll talk about some.
Of course, we'll
yeah,
talk
because
about.
we got to include all the sports. But we're not just going to run off stats. We're going to be in depth in talking about
some huge headlines.
Yes,
that have hit
the headliners and our teams and whatnot. I'm sure you'll start to follow the Pirates and the Nationals. Truck Day, baby. That was yesterday. They hauled up their 2014 Freightliner with a 75-foot trailer, an 18-wheeler, drove that bad boy down to Florida with all the equipment.
Were you sleeping outside waiting for it to go off so you could tell me that?
No, I saw it on Twitter.
Oh, okay.
Well, which was pretty fun. They have crates of stuff, and
It's all their equipment.
hauling it from D.C. to Florida.
Yeah, it's all their equipment.
Yeah.
It's like basically what I did as a student manager, hauling all your equipment away. Yeah, but basically now that we know that football is over, we want to be able to make sure that we bring you great content as well. There will always be football headlines. Trust me.
Yeah,
There
the
will
off season.
always be football headlines
Oh my goodness!
here.
No, it's not going to stop. The headlines will not stop going
Football
into the
will always
off-season.
be our bread and butter. But bringing content from the NBA, from the MLB, from the NHL is going to be something that we will have to do from here on out. But, of course, we will always bring you great content because we're going to have more of a discussion, more of a debate. I want to see Josh get angry. I want to hear him get mad at me sometimes because it's better to have a discussion. But that's what we intend to do. So,
Yep, and only 5, 6, 7, 8 days till pitchers and catchers report. That's just a great feeling. Baseball season. There's nothing like baseball season. I hope you can agree with me on this, but
no, I don't.
Really?
I
Now,
don't.
Explain why.
Because it's 162 games.
It's not. No, it's not just watching it on TV. I know you don't have time to sit down and watch every single Pirates game on TV. I mean, yeah, I watch an occasional Nats game. I want to sit down for a whole game unless it's like a good game I want to watch. And nobody has time to sit down and watch a 162 game season because it's more spread out. And the NFL, it's only on Sunday, so you have that one day. But
I guess I just don't get that excitement factor then.
No. The excitement is actually going to the ballpark and experiencing the atmosphere of baseball. Like, there's nothing like it. And hopefully this season I will be going to a couple Nats games, hopefully snagging some more game balls. Dan Colco and Bo Porter taking over for Johnny Holiday and Ray Knight on the Masson pre- and post-game Nats Extra show. So looking forward to seeing that and hopefully meeting them again. And baseball, I think it's going to be a great season. As you know, the Boston Red Sox won the World Series last year, and can they repeat? But, another thing, Boston against LA in the World Series and Boston against LA in the Super Bowl. So that was something cool, too. But, we'll have a lot coming for you, and next week we will have our takes on DeAndre Francois' dismissal from Florida State University.
Also have a little bit of an insight on the Mizzou penalty that Mizzou got that was kind of in direct correlation to what UNC got from the NCAA. But we'll have many
Poor
topics.
Kelly Bryant.
What's that?
Poor Kelly Bryant.
Yep. but we'll have more for you.
Yeah, but the NFL season is over, but we're not stopping here. We're going to keep on rolling on the Josh Kirby on Sports podcast. 25 episodes in, and it's been great so far. The NFL season, we started this, you actually wanted to start it. I remember sitting in your living room on the couch like, hey, CJ, you want to join my show to talk about what you do as an equipment manager? And he was just like, yeah, let's keep this going. And he's been on, like, except for the days I've been sick or couldn't make it over your house. But it's been a fun ride so far. And 25 episodes in, I just think we're doing great. And on Spotify, now you can download to your Spotify and listen to us on the road, so you're not streaming YouTube. So I hope you all can take advantage of that. And we have great things coming, hopefully. So, well, we hope you will stay tuned to us, and we will have great episodes for you each and every week. That wraps it up, episode 25 of the Josh Kirby on Sports podcast. Thanks again to Free Forever by Jam Studio at premiumbeat.com for our music. Route 11 Chips for sponsoring this episode. Dave Johnson, once again, for our wonderful intro. And make sure you find us on social medias. I've said it a bunch, but I will get through it really fast because I know CJ wants to get watching his YouTube. But Facebook at Kirby on Sports Podcast. Twitter at Kirby on Sports. CJ's over here. Twitter at Kirby on Sports. Our Instagram page at the Josh Kirby on Sports Podcast. And make sure you email us. We want the fans to be involved too. Email us, kirbyonsports@gmail.com, and check us out on Spotify. I'm so glad we're on Spotify now. But sir, I believe I will make sure this is correct for the next episode. But search up the Josh Kirby on Sports podcast, no caps and no spaces, and you should be able to find it. So until next time, CJ and I say so long, and we will catch you on the next episode. Peace out.